What is going on, guys? PoliticsGaming here, and today I am going to be doing a little bit of a more of a live stream. This is going to be the second live stream I've done today. But today, since every one of you who's probably going to start watching in a couple of minutes already saw the premiere of that video for the 2019 edition for Power and Revolution, we're going to go ahead and take a couple of minutes today to actually, a couple of minutes, probably like 2 hours. And I'm joined by Gabe today, though. Today we're actually going to have a discussion about the 2018 DLC, what you guys think about the DLC.
2019.
What did I say? 2018?
You said 2018.
God damn it. But yeah, we're basically gonna have a little bit of a discussion about the 2019
the theory that says
DLC and what you guys actually think about it. So I'm actually gonna turn the game volume down.
Oh, you're playing right now.
Yeah, I literally said I was playing it. What?
Yeah, let me check. I didn't open the video.
There's the Ukrainian helicopter moving across. It's just hovering there. I should shoot it down.
Anyway, this is going to be big. Like, I can totally see Eversim making Geopolitical Simulator 5 in 2020 after this.
That if they go
set
through with
a new game just in time for 2020, and it will be great because there will be elections in the USA in 2020, correct?
Yeah, see, that's what I've kind of noticed is that they usually release games every single time that there is an election in either France or the United States. And there was elections in the United States and France in the same year. So that, or not in the same year, but actually it was like the year before that they actually released it. And so that's one thing that I usually do. But they usually do actually like to release it around the same times that the United States has its own elections.
Yeah.
Which if they don't, then it would actually really surprise me if the next DLC that they would actually go through with would be a 2020 DLC, which I have a feeling if they're doing a 2019 DLC because on Masters of the World they stopped support for Masters of the World to start looking after Power and Revolution. They stopped that back in like 2014, and then 2015 was completely absent. They didn't say anything, they didn't do anything, and then in 2016 we got Power and Revolution. So Masters of the World came out in 2013, we got one 2014 edition, right? And then in Power and Revolution, we've gotten the 2017 edition, we've gotten the 2018 edition, 2018 edition adding massive amounts of content, and then the 2019 edition, again, adding massive amounts of content to the game. I don't see the possibility of them doing a GPS 5 in 2020 because I mean like they're unless they have like a lot of resources that they're saving up or something like that,
the competition,
I can honestly see them doing a 2020 edition, but the 2020 edition would basically just have to be its own game. That's probably why the price of the 2019 edition is actually higher than the original 2018 2018 So let me actually look at the price of the 2019 edition is.
I'm screwed because the original price is in euros, and they're always what right now $4.
Oh wait, hang on, no, that's
no,
with the extended.
No, not $4. The euro in reais is 4 reais right now. So whatever the price that they're going to charge for this DLC, I'm going to pay 4 times the amount. It's not going to be nice. But anyway,
if
talking about the
Eversim doesn't
2020
send
election,
me, if Eversim doesn't send me like a free code or something like that, then I'm probably just gonna buy it. But I'm gonna buy the extended download service, honestly. But what were you saying?
About a possible 2020 full game, like Geopolitical Simulator 5. I can totally see them focusing solely on the military aspect of it, because right there in the end, they hint that they decided to change some of the defense modes here. Like, it can be just a small adjustment of things, but one of the things that I dislike about Power Revolution is the whole military aspect of it. The whole adding a defense mode for the missile launcher units is nice, because I don't like having to manually have to pick one by one of the units in order to defend an area.
Mm-hmm.
And there's also the city map mode, which is interesting in theory, but it does not work in practice. And the riots mode is annoying. It's because it will be understandable if the riots start because of something that you did, but the riots in the game are random. They happen whenever.
It makes sense, because there are a lot of riots that are just random. It just doesn't. There's no story behind it, because most of the time people still riot for no reason at all, and that's why the TV addresses are there, so it kind of gives a little bit of background into why what happened. Sometimes there's just
I remember a game where
pop up, because in my Russia gameplay earlier, I had a riot that happened out of nowhere.
Dude, one of my old Ireland videos, Dublin was almost destroyed due to a riot due to soccer. Like, it's a hooligan riot and then destroy half of Dublin in the process. That's actually very radical.
Yeah, welcome to Ireland.
Yeah. Imagine what they'll do if they win the World Cup.
This
anyway.
Ukrainian city's on fire. Nope, never mind. But I think it's kind of funny that a lot of people who were watching it, and I even saw one of these on the Steam forum, that people are claiming that this is an SJW move on Eversim's part, and I completely disagree, honestly. And I want to see someone who's in the chat. I want to see them
SJW. It's very realistic to actually approach this problem. And like, is Democracy 3 SJW game just because they implemented female circumcision in like their Africa DLC? So what if they're actually tackling social justice issues in the game? It's supposed to be realistic. I'm not sorry to pop the bubbles for some of the people out there, but social issues exist, and
yeah, like,
you can disagree with how you. Yeah, you can disagree with how regarding some of those issues,
but those issues are still there.
You can't close your eyes and pretend that they're not there. They're real.
Yeah, and that's what I think that's kind of funny. A lot of people are saying like, okay, well, like this is like a SJW, blah blah blah, like like Eversim's being like liberal, blah blah blah. Like, I completely think that is just arrogant that people are saying, oh yeah, like they're trying to shove it down our throats. No, Eversim's not. Those are just like complete social issues. And I've honestly I've honestly had this belief that
I don't want to be that kind of person, but the people complaining about it are probably 12. So why are we even talking about it?
Anyway. That's because that's what I've been seeing people complain about.
Yeah.
You gotta
I'm
have
talking
something.
about talking about a 2020 edition again. I'm repeating myself now. Great.
You're
There's
totally
the
fine.
implementation of a digital tax on online giants, and Eversim,
They mentioned like Google,
Facebook, Google. Yeah, when you said that on your video, I was like, wait, what? They're going to implement corporations? Because I suggested that in the Discord a long time ago. Like 6 months ago or something.
They're like they corrected me on that, and they said like that's not what we're doing, but it is something we're gonna do in the future.
Yeah, and I can totally see an expansion pack or 2020 edition focusing a lot on NGOs and private entities in general. NGOs, corporations, what else? Even governmental organizations, state industries. For example, you can manage and start state industries and have them on a separate corporation tree that will interact with other companies and etc. And I was talking with you about that before. If they do that, they can also put a mode on Power Revolution where you can actually be the CEO of a major global corporation and actually play as a corporation, which will make the game actually be 2 games in 1. You'll be playing essentially. There's an old game from the early 2000s called Capitalism 2. Well, if they do that on a 2020 edition, you'll be playing Capitalism 3 and Power Revolution. It would be actually very awesome. Like imagine like controlling Gazprom and trying to monopolize the European market in order to control gas supplies, etc. Or I don't know, playing as Jeremy Corbyn and creating a state corporation for the railways and managing the railways in the country. But that will probably mean changing the entire way that the economy of the game is played. So I don't see how they can do that with the current economic model that they use for the designing in Power Revolution.
Mm-hmm.
They will have to overhaul the entire game. So I can only see them using corporations in a way that is effective and fun if they completely overhaul the economic game. And that will be you're gonna have to go on 180 on the whole design of the economic system. Now, next step, you have the new technology tree.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm actually like super excited for, like, because I knew that was coming, and I was hoping they were gonna add it. Which I mean, like a lot of people were really excited for like update 6.39, and I was talking about it and stuff like that because like Everson was telling me, you know, like we're gonna add it into the next version, blah blah blah. But after they told me that 2019 was gonna be released, then that's whenever I was just like, okay, so they're probably gonna add it into 2019. So that is basically going to be the case, which is going on? It's a little unfortunate that you basically have to pay to get your technology fixed, but at the same time, it is what it is, you know. And I honestly don't mind. You know, I can afford it. Which I might pre-order it honestly, but
Oh, they added third generation nuclear power plants. That's great.
Oh yeah. Well,
I
yeah.
just saw that.
They've always been in there.
I also hope that you don't get a decrease on your environmental points if you add the nuclear power plants, because that
You probably
sucks.
will.
Yeah, because a lot of environmental NGOs and parties, they dislike nuclear power plants, mostly because of nuclear waste, which you can't just throw away anywhere. And also nuclear meltdowns, but like you have France, which their power grid is mostly nuclear power plants, and meltdowns usually happen due to accidents that are external to power plants.
Mm-hmm.
Mostly Japan, what I'm talking about. I'm not talking like the... God, it was a meltdown in the 1970s in the United States that was 3 points nuclear power plants. I don't remember, but that was a human error, and so was Chernobyl. Chernobyl. Okay, I don't remember exactly what happened in Chernobyl, but it was also due to...
It was an emergency. It was a training exercise, and whenever they activated one of the reactors, it went down, and then so the whole thing blew up because it got too hot.
Wow, they managed to screw up so bad in the training.
I know.
Jesus.
What is wrong with my freaking economy? Now my industrial thing is starting to import
I think that's a good time to talk about your problem with the service industry.
It's the internet.
Because yeah, he sent me a message on Discord and asked about it, and I told him, have you improved your internet services in Russia? Like,
that is actually very interesting that it does that.
Yeah, because... And there's a certain logic to it that I actually liked. If you start building a lot of internet services, there will be a huge demand for the service industry, but the service industry won't be able to absorb it in your country because, well, mostly the wages suck, and you won't get enough people to work on those services. For example, imagine I'm Russian, a bald Amazon guy. I forgot his name, Jeff Bezos. Imagine I'm Russian Jeff Bezos, and I create the Russian version of Amazon, and I need a customer service line, and there's not enough, and I can't operate a customer service line in Russia because I just can't find one that is effective to me. So I'll just go to an Indian or a Chinese company with people that know Russian in order to get those the customer service. And there's other examples not related to customer service. For example, outsourcing, let's see, procurement services to other countries, logistics, etc. It makes a lot of sense. If a sector grows way too much, you end up importing a lot of the services that are needed by it.
So how do I fix a $3.5 trillion trade deficit whenever my consumption keeps going up?
Well, you do have a lot of access. You cannot always subsidize it.
Well, yeah, I'm subsidizing.
But that would probably like... What?
I said I'm subsidizing it by $12 billion.
Holy moly! All right. Actually, oh my god! Oh my god! I'm looking at it right now. Your consumption is 15% of the global.
Compare it from like 2017 to 2019.
What the fuck did you do?
It's the internet. I kept on improving.
Alright, let me check your internet services. Let me check your internet services real quick.
10%.
Yeah, how much?
My production actually kind of went up with the consumption.
4% with a 10% consumption.
Okay, so this is dependent on computer software and numerical networks and infrastructures. So let's go to computer software. Oh crap, my game just crashed. Don't
All right,
tell me.
Going back to the new contents of the 2019 edition. Global warming is the main update. I like that they did that. I like that they added new technologies in order to combat climate change. Because this is one of the things that I started doing in the game. Like I started changing from fossil fuel to solar powered power plants or nuclear power plants. I managed to make France almost carbon emission free, but you know, ours still emit CO2. So I like that they added electric cars. I love that they actually CO2 capture plants, the Hyperloop.
I'm gonna have fun with all the sectors that I'm gonna be able to mess with.
Yeah, and there's also the cannabis industry.
The what?
You can make a cannabis industry if you want to.
What's a cannab?
Marijuana.
Oh,
weed,
yeah.
joints. And I was imagining, like, you can make Canada a narco state if you want to. That's
Which, I mean, that's if you legalize it.
Yeah, that's if you legalize it. That's you can have a monopoly, a global monopoly on marijuana.
Yeah, just play as Afghanistan. You just do that all day.
Like, imagine doing the whole opium crisis 2.0, but with marijuana.
Jesus Christ.
Jeez, oh my God. Everson, what did you do? What did you do?
Everson is a mixed bag.
This is going to be great.
I think it's gonna be a very fun DLC. Honestly,
it's going to be fun.
Like, I'm actually as excited as I was for 2018. So, like, I mean, let me look through it again. It's like the ones that I'm excited for is honestly the research trees, CO2 capture plants. You know, I want to see like what those can do. High density batteries. We can look into that. Third generation nuclear power plant is basically
high density batteries. It's those Tesla batteries that they're selling now in order to charge electric cars and etc.
Yeah. So the high density
just to add a parenthesis here,
or not the high density batteries. The EPR nuclear power plants are actually in the game. They're in the game. They've been in the game. But they just don't work. Let me actually...
correct me if I'm wrong, but EPR is those thorium-based power plants, correct?
What was that?
EPR power plants. No, because I do know that some nuclear scientists are proposing to use thorium instead of uranium in order to make energy.
No, see, nuclear fusion powered electricity.
Yeah, fusion plants are also another thing that I can totally see everything doing because.
Well, they're in the game.
They're in the game. They're in the game, but someone mentioned in Discord that fusion power plants will plummet oil prices.
Ooh, that
and
would be spooky.
that's something that is going to be cool to see in the game.
Graviton fuel.
I don't know if one of the things that they should do as well is let the AI build power plants as well, because if the AI doesn't create newer energy, this just occurred to me. Everything will need to make their AI constantly build power plants in order to keep with their demand, or else they'll have severe power problems later.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, where was I? Oh yes, the transition.
EPR has always been in here. Unless it's like I'm probably thinking of something else. Like, because I've always seen the EPR is a third generation pressurized water reactor. It's been designed and developed mainly by Fredericton, part of Areva, France, and Siemens in Germany. Siemens. In Europe, this reactor's design was called European Pressurized Reactor, and the internationalized name is the Evolutionary Power Reactor, but is now simply named EPR. So, third generation 3 reactor. Incorporating evolutionary improvements in design developed during the lifetime of Generation 2 reactors. These include improved fuel technology, superior thermal efficiency, significantly enhanced safety systems, including passive nuclear safety, and standardized designs for to reduce maintenance and capital costs. The first Generation 3 reactor was Kashiwazaki 6 on ABWR in 1996. And I got a notification on my YouTube. But third was also designed to use uranium more efficiently than older Generation 2 reactors, using approximately 17% less uranium per unit of electricity generated than these older reactor technologies. An independent analysis conducted by environmental scientist Barry Brook on the greater efficiency and therefore lower material needs for Generation 3 reactors corroborates this finding. But I don't know. Like, there's always been this thing where I've always seen, like, it's like it says like allows this type of technology, and then it's like EPR nuclear power plant, something like that. There. Okay, it's advanced nuclear fission, and then it says EPR nuclear electricity. And then you go over to fusion, and then fusion is completely different. Because at fusion power plants, you can't even build. You can make the discovery, you just can't build the actual fusion plant. You're there, right?
Yeah, I am. I was going to say something from the list here. I'm just trying to choose something that is interesting.
Yeah, I'm looking at the list too. Establishment of the legal age for consuming alcohol. You know, you can take that down all the way to 15. Electricity shortages. I'm excited for that.
Yeah, I was thinking about that earlier. I think the AI is, unless everything fixes the AI and how they interact with the economy, I can totally see the game crashing like 4 years into the game because every country will have an electricity shortage.
Oh, that's going to be funny.
Especially small countries like Singapore, Bhutan, and Ireland, I think, because actually I had an electricity deficit with Ireland, mostly because I started to export a shit ton of beer, to the US, and I couldn't keep up with the electricity demand. So I can totally see this happening and crashing the game. I really hope that they don't. That they don't have this problem.
I've done research, and I mean, if they're gonna go forward with electricity shortages and stuff like that, they may have to change how the system works, because I mean, I've looked it up, and the electricity consumption and production for the United States is pretty accurate, according to the game and according to real life, because in the game I'm looking at it right now, and the United States produces 3.1 gigawatts of electricity and then consumes 7.7 gigawatts. And then there's been gameplays that I've played through on Livestream.
Actually, that's incorrect. That's incorrect, because you have to
somewhere that I looked that it
basically showed it is totally incorrect. You have to look at the electricity tab inside the energy industry.
What do you mean?
You know, when you open up the energy tab here, all right, you have statistics talking about national consumption and production, but that's not really how it is. Click all activities and electricity. Yeah, there, and you see how much you actually produce and how much you actually consume. But you have to click on more info in order to see really how much in terawatts you're actually eating up and producing.
Is it world info?
Yeah, world info. There's a lag between the video and the... Yeah, there is. You have to click in percentage of the world production.
Oh, yeah, terawatt by hour, okay. Huh. So I have a positive balance.
Yeah, you have a positive, but it is closing down, more or less.
It's closing down, but that's actually very interesting. I've always paid attention to that. That's amazing. So I'm producing 3.3 gigawatts, almost 3.4 gigawatts of power, and then consuming 2.9 gigawatts. Let's see who produces the most. The least, Palestine doesn't produce any electricity. China produces 3.7 gigawatts and then consumes only 934 megawatts.
Alright, that is wrong. That's actually wrong unless they're exporting it.
Balance of trade is 493. Because China, India, Russia, Brazil, South Korea all have positive trade balances.
Yeah, and actually some countries actually export cheaper electricity to other countries. For example, Bhutan, which is this small country on top of India, most of their exports is hydroelectric electricity.
See, I think with electricity shortages coming in, I think this is going to be clarified once we know exactly what we need to pay attention to avoid blackouts. But it's going to be very interesting to see how it affects your economy to see a nationwide blackout. Especially as places such as the United States, because that's basically going to be on par with things like cyber attacks.
Yeah, cyber attacks can actually, you can create shortages.
Yeah, because sometimes whenever I see cyber attacks and stuff like that, they shut down the airports, they shut down the ports, stuff like that, and then they say it's a total blackout. But that's the only thing, and they just do it because of a cyber attack. But your own energy production could cause you to create your own cyber attack, and then you can suffer blackouts. And then another thing, whenever you suffer a blackout, you can possibly be more susceptible to cyber attacks within the time of that blackout. And then so whenever a blackout happens or something like that, you have to commit like a couple $1 billion or something like that, depending on what country you're playing, to send in emergency workers to fix the electricity grid. So if they actually revitalize the energy and electricity grid, because that's my favorite part about this game, is where you can like mess with the energy in your electricity and stuff like that. That's my favorite part. So I'm very excited if that's what we're going to be doing. So if there's going to be a simulation of electricity shortages, hopefully it goes a little more than that. And I'll be right back, by the way.
Yeah, what?
I said I'm just going to be right back. I'm going to run somewhere.
All right. I'll keep them entertained for you.
All right, sorry about that. I'm back. But let's see what other things we have. So it says,
all right, where were we?
So we can probably talk about global warming. So,
yeah, they added a new scenario based on the IPCC report.
Yeah.
Which is scary. With limiting the global warming to 1.5, and they also added a scenario where pretty much everybody failed, and it's basically playing in a cyberpunk future where shit's going down.
Imagine if they actually had rising sea levels.
Actually, they added it here. Like, there's rising sea levels in the
But imagine if it was actually animated.
I can totally see them doing that with some sprites, in the same way that they do with nuclear weapons and etc. Like, create a water sprite and then expand it near the shore.
Huh.
However, I think that will probably lead to some ugly visual bugs.
And then, yeah, I think they actually had to change the digital tax on online giants. They had to change that because of me. Because I mistook it with they were adding corporations. Motorway tolls I'm pretty excited about because I mean that could, for one, that can generate a lot of money, and two, I really like to do tolls.
Yeah, but I was going to like say that there are private run tolls everywhere, and that wouldn't make much sense. But I believe that there are state tolls in order to pay for the infrastructure.
Closing and reopening of nuclear power plants. What about that? Because that's how
I loved it because Britain has some closed down power plants. Japan
Oh
has
crap!
closed
He
down
just
power.
emailed me back. Sorry,
What?
Louise emailed me back.
All right.
He wanted me to send him a link to the video. Let me actually. He said okay. So they are going to offer me a code, for the game whenever it comes out.
Oh, that's great.
Which the only thing we have left is the interview now.
Sorry, what?
Said the only thing we have left now is an interview.
Yeah, you're going to do an interview with Everson now.
Mm-hmm. Which he said he was going to start discussing it after the announcement, so they're probably going to start talking to me about it.
Oh, great. Let's see something else that we can talk about here from the list. Play up to 30 nations. 30. That's a lot. You can play the entire EU now.
Why
at the same
hell
time.
Do you want to play 30 nations?
Okay, now I want to see you do that, and you
I'd rather
for a
do it
video.
myself.
Play the entire EU.
Oh yeah, you can play the entire EU.
Possibility of dismantling infrastructures on the map.
I think. Okay, so the funny part is that I think the dismantling of the infrastructures may have been an idea that I gave. I know for a fact that closing and reopening nuclear power plants was an idea that I directly gave them, and I said, hey,
they probably thought, yeah, we should probably do that as well, since we're already here.
Yeah, because I messaged them and I was sending them like suggestions and stuff like that. I was saying like, hey, like it would be a good idea because I played Japan before, as I said in the video. I've played Japan before where they would like I would have all of these nuclear power plants all over the country, and I can't do anything with them, and then so it would be a fun idea because I mean the reason why you can't do anything with them is because for one they're all shut down, and Eversim implemented it to where all of them are shut down, so they're producing no nuclear power, and then so that's whatever I kind of got an idea, and I was just like, okay, it would be a really fun idea because I mean countries do this all the time to where they like shut down a nuclear power plant and then turn it back on and stuff like that. So that's whenever I kind of emailed them a couple of suggestions. I think it was the same time I told them about the Iraqi flag, where yeah, I think I would have to pull up the email to see which one it was, but I messaged it to him or to Eversim, just their Eversim thing for general questions about the game, and I said, hey, like, you know, for one, the Iraqi flag is wrong. Here's the actual Iraqi flag that you need to be using. And then two, it would be a very good idea if you could implement like naming of highways and infrastructure projects, like having the ability to turn your nuclear power plants on and off, or at least any other like a electricity producer, like wind farms, nuclear power plants, specifically for nuclear power plants.
Hey, Another thing that I like here, there's a game option of whether or not to include actual historic results when calculating the election results. No, like you know how the election calculations are done in the game. Well, they take the previous election results, and depending on, and they have to compare it with the new results in order to give you a realistic result of how that would be. For example, you can't take like a party that has 5 people in parliament and suddenly get 100 people majority when you have very few supporters. That's severely unrealistic. That's work that will take like 10 to 20 years.
Or at least maybe 3, 4, 5 election cycles.
Yeah, and also there's more to it as well, because the Liberal Democrats all were one of the bigger parties after the departure of Gordon Brown in the UK, and they have to do a coalition with the Conservatives and etc. And actually, something that would greatly improve the political aspect of the game, actually have coalition negotiations. For example, you have the majority in parliament, but you don't have 50% plus 1 of the seats in parliament. You're gonna have to negotiate those seats with someone else.
Oh yeah, coalition building.
You can totally simulate it by having people from other parties in your cabinet, but I don't think that completely works. What I want is you knock on the door of another smaller party and say, yeah, we need to make a coalition, and they'll make you a list of demands in order to have them on your coalition, and you have to agree to them. For example, you're a left-wing party, you won, but you don't have a majority. For example, you're the SDP in Germany, the Social Democratic Party, and you have to make a deal with the Greens in order to get a majority in parliament. Have the talking head of the Green Party leader said, yeah, we will totally be in your government, but we want you to do this list of things. And then they will show you, yeah, you're going to have to implement a carbon tax, going to have to meet this target of unemployment, of this or this target of CO2 emission. And if you don't get those 3 things until the middle of your term, you're gonna have a crisis in your government. Like suddenly the Green Party will go bright red against you and say, yeah, you're not doing anything for us, so we're leaving. And they'll just leave, and you have a parliamentary crisis, and you'll become while you are a majority party because you won elections, you suddenly have less votes in parliament. Like, simulating parliamentary crisis would be so great, because it's something that happens a lot in real life, but the game doesn't really simulate it well.
It would be cool if there was like it would totally have to be like a its own mini game or something like that, something similar to like what they did with World of Leaders. But like it would be just like where you play one country, and it would be as in depth as humanly possible, because they only have to like concentrate on one country, right? So then they would have to just do the United States, the United Kingdom, or France.
Talking about
so
World of Leaders, there's something in World of Leaders that they should totally implement in a future update. Newspapers that follow a certain ideology. For example, you have a left-wing newspaper, a right-wing newspaper, a conservative newspaper, a communist newspaper, and you can open any of those to see what each political spectrum thinks of your government. For example, you're a right-wing government. You're the Conservatives in the UK, and you open the
Did you play World
communist.
Leaders?
No, I saw some
Oh.
some screenshots, and there was you can actually have a newspaper there that from different ideology.
Yeah, because I mean I played it. I remember it and stuff like that. Whenever it was actually free, because I got it before they started charging you like $9 to play it, and it was funny.
Yeah,
I've tried to go back into it a couple of times, but no one plays it anymore.
Yeah, where was I? Oh yes, because that would be so cool. For example, a newspaper can actually start a campaign against you, like in order to bring you down, and you have to deal with it. For example, you're the Russian government, and a socialist newspaper start printing hit pieces against you, saying like
it's fake news.
Actually, fake news would be a great addition, especially if they do another update to deal about it. Like you can be an opposition party and fund fake news against the current government in order to boost your election results.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because that is happening a lot, and that would be nice to add to the game. Actually, I'm surprised they didn't add it before when they did the whole IT additions to the 2018 edition.
I mean, they somewhat implemented it because that's what the intervening in the electoral process is.
Yeah, but you can't do that as an actual party. You can only do that as a foreign government.
You can only do it as a foreign government, which, I mean, that's the point of it. It says an electoral cyber attack consists in breaking into a computer of a political party during an election to collect data and use them for malicious ends to influence the choice of the voters. You should try that in Liberia, because everyone in Liberia is on the internet.
Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, your audio just cut off.
Oh wow, this mic already sucks. I said I said you should try that because like with
Liberia?
With Liberia, because everyone in Liberia is on the internet. It's funny because
you're looking at the comparative maps right now. The comparative maps are another update from the 2020 edition that they added. They are going to add a lot of new comparative maps.
Yeah,
especially regarding
environment, women's rights, human rights.
I think they were preparing ground for it in the 2018 edition.
That's actually like really fun that they're gonna add more stuff like that, because the only real things that you can do about human rights and stuff like that is level of democracy and then freedom of the press. So now you're gonna be able to have, that you can add gender equality, women's rights, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So that's gonna be really fun to deal with.
Oh, check the Life Health tab. I have something to show you that I was talking before.
Which one? Life Health?
The life/health bar.
Yeah, I know. Which one? What after that?
Right, so let me see. Calories per day per capita.
Huh.
Calories per day per capita, yeah. I was talking before that they said that they will be adding new stuff, and they will be simulating famines more realistically. It will be more in regards to not only the consumption of goods, but also regarding the calories per capita and and other stuff. And I remember, hey, they already have that on the comparative maps, because I keep checking that because I'm a fucking technocrat. That's why. And
you actually check it whenever you don't do anything with it?
Yeah, I actually check it like constantly, especially the education tab when I'm trying to reform education, because for some reason the stats that they give you on the education tab outside of the comparative maps is not enough to check how much of your third level education is enough.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, let's check the comments. Clemar said, "This is great, but I thought having finally a real impact that changed literally gameplay with the research discovery, that the only thing I think can be supplemented and the game will be completely for me. Complete for me, sorry." Yeah, there will be a real impact from discoveries from what has been said.
That's what yeah, Clemar, like that was literally the whole point of why I dubbed it the research update, because that's why I called it the research update, is because like it's more of a, because I mean the research, it's such a waste of money. I always put so much money in there, and then as soon as I figured out that none of it worked, I stopped doing it because it's worthless. But now they're finally
only the space research was working. The rest took way too long to discover, and if it happened based literally on luck, and some of it wasn't working. But for some people, it was.
Because I mean, again, I can like discover, like nuclear, like fusion powered reactors, and it doesn't work. So it's like I don't know. It's just, oh man, I haven't slept.
Alright, now Apollo OG said, "I would really love to see a more depth tax bracket system," to go off topic. So do I. In fact, I believe that... What?
Said like what? What would be a more in-depth tax bracket? You mean by like how much money they're making?
Yeah, how much money, exactly. I believe that would be great to do. For example,
wouldn't that be making like 7 different tax brackets?
Yeah, for example, here in Brazil, one of the election proposals by both candidates was to increase the threshold of which you will charge income tax. For example, right now, if you make 2,000 reais, you'll be taxed income tax. Fernando Haddad from PT wanted to change that bracket to 5,000 reais. And I don't remember what, I think Bolsonaro also proposed the same thing. I don't know, but it's pretty much common ground that the current rate of which the income taxes charge is way too low and affects the poor.
See, because right now the United States has just 3 tax brackets now, because we used to have like 6.
Jesus.
I know, yeah, and it was stupid. But it was the Tax Cut and Jobs Act, that like huge tax reform that President Trump got passed. And so what he did is that it cut from like 6 or 7 different tax brackets, and it cut it down to just 3. And then it also, you know, as everyone knows, like it reduced taxes, cut the company tax down to 21, corporate tax, and I think the tax
yeah, actually, code. That's another thing. They should also add the corporate tax brackets, if you want to do, of course. And another thing is
what, like small business
law and taxation, in which you can automatically create a flat a flat-rated income tax, for example. They've done it on Democracy 3, and I can totally see you do that in Power Revolution, but right now it's almost impossible to do so. I mean, yeah, in real life it would be unpopular, especially in Europe. But some countries already implement a flat rate of income tax, like
Russia.
Russia did. No, they don't have a flat rate of income tax anymore. They in the 2014 budget they decided to raise, I believe, the top bracket of their taxes.
A cash spending. Yeah, basically, I think the major thing, and it's actually one of the only military things. There may be a couple other military aspects that are being changed, but basically, you can make defensive lines during war.
Thank God for that.
Yeah, you can basically make defensive lines. Let me actually read what it says. So it says there's an active defense mode for missile launcher units and destroyers that can automatically bomb enemy units entering a protected zone. So you could basically make a protected zone, like in like a specific region or something like that, and then you can order all your missile launchers and ships and everything like that to bombard anything that comes into that area. So that is pretty good that you can actually make defensive lines in the game. Wow, my video already has 102 views and I posted it like 30 minutes ago.
All right, Apollo G also said that you should add a more dynamic electoral college for the U.S. Yeah, but
it's just an electoral college. I don't unless like you like. I mean, yeah. I mean, it's I don't know. Electoral college is simulated pretty accurately in the game.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
I don't know what else you would want.
Yeah, I don't know what else
like,
you would want.
It even says the College of Electors is like going to meet in like 3 weeks, and then you're not inaugurated. You're not sworn into office or make your TV address until like January. So the transition of power and the American
yeah, the American system is very well emulated.
The system is simulated pretty accurately. Someone just said Russia has a flat 13% tax. We just have big payroll taxes.
Oh, I see. All right. Yeah, I was wrong. Sorry.
Yeah, why are you thinking that you're actually like knowing everything?
I'm sorry. Anyway,
man.
Any more questions, folks?
Yeah, I mean, I think I can let everyone else. I'm probably gonna head out because I've been up all night waiting for Eversim to finally email me, and my God, it was worth it. But I am tired.
Yeah, as far as I know, you spent the entire night awake.
Yeah, this is the last time I'm ever gonna stay up for my subscribers. I only did it for them. I literally laid down, and then I woke up, laid down, woke up, and I looked at my phone and I saw that he emailed me, and I'm like, oh my God, come on. So that's whenever I got up and like read it, went through the features, looked at what they were adding, and then made the video, posted a video. Take about 2 hours to post the video, and then they post the freaking features first before I even have the video ready, and I'm just like, oh my God. I don't know. In my experience, I've not had many close elections. I suppose maybe I need to up the difficulty, but it swings hard for one candidate or the other. I've seen that too. So you're basically talking about, I mean, it's basically by how you've mastered the election system, especially with that. In the game, it's basically kind of like the 1-round system where you basically get a certain percentage of the vote, but you're basically getting an average percentage of the vote throughout all of the country and all of the regions that are voting, all of the states that are voting. So that's basically what you're doing, because that's basically what I've seen. But if you want a more difficult election, don't raise the minimum wage, don't lower retirement and stuff like that. Yeah, I mean, I've done that before, and I basically realized, and I mean, that's how I won on my Russia gameplay. I really don't like to play like countries that have elections like right next to them. But if you want a more difficult election, don't propose the things that you know are going to blow the other candidates out of the water. Propose things that are realistic and propose things that are feasible.
And this is why I always lose, because that's what I do all the time.
What?
I'm terrible with the elections, man. I have bad luck with it.
I've basically figured out that if you just like lower retirement and then raise minimum wage, everyone's gonna suck your dick. Like, it's so easy. But then I've noticed
that depends, because
countries like Pakistan, I've tried it before as Pakistan, and it does not work as Pakistan. Like it's so weird. But if you do that as like Western,
if you do
countries,
a deeply religious country like Ukraine or Pakistan, or I don't know, if
yeah,
our religion was like more than 50% of a population, for example, if you're a conservative party, just propose banning abortion, etc., you get all the votes. Like, I managed to win the elections in Ukraine by
I'm gonna have to try that, because what I've noticed is that even ultra conservative nations, even as nations such as like Iran and stuff like that, like they still really, and I mean I've noticed that a lot, that liberal ideals actually have the majority in a lot of these conservative nations. Iran, for example, sometimes. Okay, before I go, I'm gonna do a little science experiment, if you can say so. Let's go ahead and play as Iran real quick. I want to ban abortion if they even have it legalized. I'm going to see what happens, because, I mean, I've played nations before where I know they're ultra conservative, and then they just, like, completely, like, piss themselves when I do something that conservative nations usually would like.
The top story of the new year is the wishes expressed by our beloved head of state last evening.
All right, so that's everything. I'm heading out.
State expressed all the precepts.
Yeah, let me do this real quick, and then I'm gonna head out too.
All right, bye everyone.
No, come on. You wanna stay?
All right, I'll stay for a little bit more.
Hell yeah. What was I gonna ban? Oh, abortion. Okay, so it's illegal homosexuality. Damn it, abortion's already illegal. No limits. Forbidden contraception?
Hey, you know...
See, if we had women's rights in here, this would be easier.
Yeah, let's see how it will be.
Okay. No, that's like human rights. What would be something that people would get pissed off at? Like if you were in a liberal area. Okay. I'll go ahead and legalize abortion in cases of rape. And let's go ahead and see what the public react. Oh, shit. Yeah, I guess they anticipate a little bit. Yeah, majority religion hates you. You lose 16% in approval. But...
yeah, having the majority religion hate you in Iran is kind of a death sentence because you'll be going against the constitution.
Oh yeah, I've noticed that. I remember in my Iran series, I looked up a couple of the things that I was doing, and it would be politically impossible for anyone to do that as Iran, because they would be going directly against the constitution of Iran. And because it basically says that, like, in Iran, you're basically supposed to protect Islam. You don't go against Islam, and if you do, then you're out of here. And everything I was doing, like, was just completely unconstitutional in Iran. So I thought it was funny, because I realized it later on. I'm like, oh shit, like, I wasn't supposed to be doing that. I didn't really kind of go around it with role playing or something. But all right, now I'm gonna go. All right, I'll talk to you later, dude.
All right.
All right, and so I'm gonna go ahead and sign off here, guys. So guys, if you guys like this, go ahead and leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you are new. If you guys are excited for the 2019 edition, please. And by the way, Apollo, yes, I think that Trump is going to finish off his term. I don't think he's going to be impeached or removed or resign. Honestly, that is my opinion. But if you guys are excited for 2019, go ahead and let me know in the comments below. So if you guys want to see the 2019 edition, please let me know. You guys know I'm already planning on playing it as soon as I get that code from Eversim. So again, that's basically what I'm gonna do. So in any case, thank you guys so much for watching this. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Join me in January whenever I'm going to go ahead and play the 2019 edition of Power and Revolution, where we're going to be fighting climate change, and then we are going to be fighting for women's rights, and then we are also going to be fighting natural disasters and the such. So that is going to be a very exciting DLC. I'm very excited to see what Eversim has in store. Once screenshots actually get released, or if I get emailed by Eversim with exclusive screenshots for the game, I will let you guys know. So other than that, guys, I will go ahead and leave you right here. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Subscribe to the channel to see more Power and Revolution, and subscribe to see 2019 when it comes out. And guys, I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you guys so much for watching, and take care.